Hi, folks. Welcome back to Pop Pop Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we're back with more WandaVision. Now,
Yay.
we're running a little bit late this week due to Heidi's work schedule. Nothing we can do about that. But this is the first time that we're seeing this episode. I have not been spoiled except for one image, which I don't really know what it means.
I have not been spoiled either.
I can't help it. I scroll through social media, and Twitter's the one that's usually the one to blame. So I avoid the usual places that spoil things, and I'm usually able to do that. Facebook sometimes gets me when I'm not expecting it, because I don't follow a lot of pop culture things on Facebook, and so I don't think about it as hard. I'm not as actively avoiding things there, and as sure as I believe that, then suddenly
So
a stray image.
As for me, my personal Instagram has little to no pop culture on it, but our Pop Pop Fizzle Instagram does. So I do avoid scrolling through that feed. I'm not on Twitter that much. I might scroll through a couple of things, and then I'm also like Facebook. I'm usually in the groups that I'm in. I'm not really on anybody's feed, and a lot of people that I'm friends with are not that pop culture-y as far as TV, movies, and MCU stuff are concerned. So I don't really see a whole lot there either. So I'm not that spoiled.
Pretty good rule of thumb if you follow us on social media, which you can do. Those links are always down in the description. If you are following us on Twitter, the Pop Pop Culture, that's our podcast.
That's our podcast.
Our Pop Pop Fizzle Twitter account is me. Most of the time. YouTube comments, you're going to get me or Heidi. We usually tag ourselves as to who's responding to you there.
Yep.
And if you're looking at Twitter, like I said, the Pop Pop Fizzle account is usually me, but Heidi's account is listed down below as well. And then if your Instagram, it's probably Heidi, because Instagram is one of those things where my old brain just cannot fathom Instagram or what it's about or why.
That's okay.
Why is Instagram?
I'm
really
the same way with Snapchat. So many people that I work with use it, and I'm just not there. So sorry.
Anyway, that's kind of how you can find us on social media. If you're not following us already, you should. We enjoy conversations happening wherever they happen, and we follow. I know the Pop Up Fizzle account on Twitter follows a lot of pop culture sites and some of our friends on YouTube, some of the people that we watch, like Geek Critique and Hi Guys. So there's a lot of conversations that take place there about pop culture things. Culture-y?
Culture-y.
Culture-y, sure. I'm just making up new words everywhere.
Hey.
Anyway, we're here to talk about WandaVision, actually.
So excited.
We are very excited. This is the penultimate episode, as far as we know. We've only been told about 9 episodes.
Yeah.
There are rumors about a mysterious 10th episode that's not been announced, but I doubt that's the case.
Yeah, I'm kind of doubtful about that as well.
So as far as we know, this is the penultimate episode, and it's called Previously On.
Previously on WandaVision.
Which is, those are the words that Wanda always kickstarts each episode off with. So very interesting title, and I'm very interested personally to find out what it means in relation to what we know so far.
Yeah.
Now, we ended with a big reveal last week, Heidi. What was that reveal?
It was Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along.
What?
Yes. And we've been doing that a lot around this house for a week.
I was really expecting you to start off so that I could do the what.
No, I'm so tired. It wasn't even on my radar. No, I literally would send Heidi text messages this week and say, by the way, it was Agatha all along. And she would reply.
What?
Usually with a gif of Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Doing the what.
I think, now, who did we catch that from? Was it Screen Crush?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Or Screen Rant or one of those screen things.
One of the things that we watch with the Easter eggs. So, love you guys. Sorry, we can't keep y'all straight.
Probably Screen Crush if we're watching the Easter eggs. Or New Rock Stars. One of the two. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to see, because we got that big reveal, and then we got Agatha's theme song, which we're referencing here. But then that was kind of it. There was no, they left us with that sudden knowledge, which we've had our suspicions about Agatha all along, or Agnes as we knew her.
But we did get that little teaser. So glad that everyone else that we watched who react to these knew that teaser or found out about that little mid-credit scene. Also reacted to that. We knew about that as well.
Now, I have been told by our dear friend Bob Raymond, who, if you don't recall, designed our Swiss cheese brain T-shirt for us, which you'll see right here. Bob Raymond let me know that that we need to pay attention during the credits here as well. So we will do that when this is over. But we're not going to take up any more of your time. All the usual things apply. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing that. Give it a thumbs up if you like content like this, so we know to do more of it for you.
Yeah, and this is not a market substitute. Please go to Disney Plus and watch the full episode.
Please, always support good content. We don't get enough of it. And then also, if you want to see the full uninterrupted version of this reaction, you can find that on Patreon. $5 gets you everything that we react to, not just this show. So join us over there if you want the full reaction, and you just sync it up with your Disney Plus while you watch along, and you hear our comments while you're watching.
Yep.
All right, that is it. We're going to dive right in. Any more thoughts from you before we go?
No, I just want to go. I want to see
Any
this.
predictions? Any prognostications?
I feel like we're going to see how this started, like kind of where it started. We're still not going to see like the very start of the idea for the hex and all of that, but I think we're going to see where Agnes and Wanda intersected so that they could get that ball rolling.
Yeah. Now, we do know that Monica Rambeau is inside the hex. We also know that Darcy Lewis is inside the hex, along with Vision. So who's going to come to Wanda's rescue? Could it be everybody? Will they have to rescue Wanda from Wanda or just from Agatha? We don't know any of these things yet. We also have heard rumors that there's a guest star. Now, a lot of people are misquoting that as saying that Elizabeth Olsen commented about a Mark Hamill level cameo. That's not what she said. That was what the person who wrote that article said. Yeah. Because it came fresh off of the Mandalorian season finale. So don't put words in Lizzie Olsen's mouth for sure. But also, I don't know what to expect because she just said a cameo, and Paul Bettany's mentioned it was someone that he was excited to work with. But really, that's all we know.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited. I feel I have one guess, and at the end of episode 9. If I was right, I will say so. But if I'm wrong, I'm okay with it. I'll still say who I thought it was.
Oh, sure. Like we trust you.
Oh, I would totally tell the truth.
No, I'm kidding. But also, we don't know whether that cameo is happening in the last episode, whether it's happening in the end credits thing here. We don't know when to expect it. So we're just going to watch along and see what we find out as we find it out. Ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Are we back at the Salem witch trials?
Oh, yeah. Here we are.
I'm glad I said that right before that thing appeared. Mm-hmm. What do we burn apart from witches?
More witches!
You have betrayed your coven.
Oh.
Mors, monsters, natural.
Quit your whining. We're all hurting. There's a pandemic on.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. They need better skincare.
It's 1693.
I can be good. No, you cannot.
There's a brooch.
Did she get locked away by the Sorcerer Supreme of 1683?
93? Maybe.
Magic's no good here.
Hers is.
Didn't you notice? Basic protection spell? One at each wall? These are runes, Wanda. In a given space, only the witch that casts the runes can use her magic. How do you not know the fundamentals?
You're even running illusions miles away at the edge of town! Magic on autopilot. What's your secret, sister?
Oh.
Papa.
He's loud, isn't he?
You said the only rule of TV night is we try to practice our English.
Yes, yes, he is right. We were just making rid of last little bit of Sokovian.
Oh. Oh, no. Are we going to see that night?
Season 2, Episode 21. always sitcom, sitcom, sitcom.
Заволнат епизод. Отличный избор.
Yes, Rob and Laura have for the most fun shenanigans.
It may look like a walnut. Excellent episode.
Yep. Ugh.
Wanda, Tyrion.
So I
There's
think
a beeping.
yeah, I think each trauma, so each commercial was the trauma that had to do with her connection to a certain thing. Maybe?
Yeah.
Wanda, it's 18.
Oh. Wait, what?
Did you stop that bomb?
What?
Used a probability hex.
Doctor, with respect, not one subject has survived direct contact.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It also might explain why Ultron was so connected to she and her brother.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh.
That was interesting.
Uh-huh.
So, little orphan Wanda got up close and personal with an infinity stone that amplified what otherwise would have died on the vine.
Wanda, I don't presume to know what you're feeling, but I would like to know. Should you wish to tell me, should that be of some comfort to you?
It's just like this wave washing over me again and again. It knocks me down, and when I try to stand up, it just comes for me again. And I can't. It's just gonna drown me.
No. No, it won't.
How do you know?
Well, because it can't all be sorrow, can it? I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief, if not love persevering?
What's that?
Parents dead, brother dead, vision dead. What happened when he wasn't there to pull you back from the darkness, Wanda?
I can't do this anymore.
Come on, Wanda. You're on the precipice.
When I came back, he was gone. His body. And I know he's here. He deserves a funeral, at least. What is this? Why are you showing me this?
Because you asked to see it.
Oh.
Fall back. It's fine. Let her see for herself.
I can't feel you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't feel you.
Ugh. Oh, she.
Heart. The mailman. It's the pizza guy.
Oh. So they had they picked out that they had.
And a
They were-
heart harder on it.
And they were gonna build a house there together. Oh. Everything she wished that they could have been.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, so she's recreating him.
Wanda. Welcome home. Should we stay in tonight?
I know what you are. You're supposed to be a myth, a being capable of spontaneous creation. This is chaos magic, Wanda. And that makes you the Scarlet Witch.
Huh.
Wow.
We took this thing apart and put it back together again a million times. Tried every type of power supply under the sun. When all we needed was a little energy directly from the source.
Oh.
Ready, sir.
Is it Vision?
It is. Look at him. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we're going to get some double vision here.
Double Vision. Haha.
Haha.
All right, I'm just scanning ahead just to make sure there's nothing else. Nothing else. Okay.
All right. So super interesting that Hayward asked Jimmy Woo or Darcy if Wanda had any clever nicknames like everyone else seemed to. Nothing at all. Well, here we are.
Yep. Now she got one.
Yep.
Okay, so much to process there. First of all, this trip through memory lane of the traumas that led to this moment.
Yeah, we didn't get a commercial this time.
We did not, because
Okay.
we weren't in a TV show.
Right.
We were just following real events as they happened.
Previously on Wanda's life.
Right. And, we knew a lot of this. We knew, we'd kind of surmised that the commercials were calls back, a call back to trauma and things that led to this moment. But also, as far as, actually seeing them and helping us feel the weight of what Wanda was feeling in that moment. But interesting that she did not take the Vision's body. So Hayward lied about that.
She sure did. Oh, he sure did.
So, but interesting that there's still this, he knows that Vision's in there, but he knows that he's got the body.
Yeah.
And then he seemed impressed that Vision wanted out.
Yeah.
Of that. So maybe those two things need to reconnect.
Yeah.
For Vision to be himself again.
I think so.
So basically what she did was form reality around memories, which is why he doesn't have any memory before she created that moment. Like, it's the pieces of him that she loved, but not
everything.
Not with his actual memory that would be in whatever his brain is, the processing unit. I'm curious as to how this is going to work.
One more episode.
And I've heard it's going to be the longest one yet.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you think about the whole thing with Wanda and Agatha there at the end? When she called her a Scarlet Witch, like that's a thing.
Did she say a or the?
No, she said you're a Scarlet Witch.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna hear
So
some.
that's apparently some kind of a thing, which is
Yeah,
why I wanted
I'm willing to believe and bet that we are gonna see and hear something folklore-y about like this myth that wasn't supposed to, like this thing that wasn't supposed to exist, which I guess maybe existed in the witch circles as somebody who couldn't possibly exist. But you told your little witchlings and made sure that they were scared about them or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting twist in the beginning on Agatha's beginning. We saw Salem witch trials. We've a little subversion of expectation there,
Sure.
thinking that we're going to
because you
see
expected
her.
her to be burned alive.
But as soon as I saw like the little, hexy sort of manacles that she got put on there, I was like, oh, what's that? And then, having all of that be put out there, it's like, oh, you're on trial by your own coven. Now, what was she into? What was she researching? What was she learning that she wasn't allowed to?
I'm curious also as to why her power looks the way that it does.
Purple.
We've got Wanda's red, we've got the blue of the other witches in the coven, and then we've got that purple.
Yeah, maybe to guess that they're the good witches, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know. But the thing is, what I'm very curious about also is that she, what was she studying? And still, who is Ralph? I'm surprised that we didn't hear or see her call upon somebody to help her. It was all her. She took all the powers from all the witches, including, I guess, her mother, to become as powerful as she is. But it was always purple.
And
so
I was,
interesting.
just because we've seen these episodes building, I kind of expected when she said, I know what you are, whatever that, I thought she was going to say a nexus being, because that's kind of where things had led.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to find out that that's what a Scarlet Witch is, that it's chaos because it's connected to everything. The only cameo that makes sense to me at this point, because I don't think they're going to introduce new characters in the last episode. That feels weird to me. We've had this time where we've built up Monica. So if there's a cameo, I feel like it has to be somebody that's previously established in the MCU.
Okay.
And the only one that makes sense to me, given what we know, is Doctor Strange leading then directly into the second Doctor Strange movie. That would make sense to me if he's like, you need to recover, you need to learn how to control your powers so this doesn't happen again, and I can help you with that. And then she's with him in order for whatever happens in that movie, for her to be of use to him there.
So what Agatha was establishing is that she had power before all these things
and
happened.
See that I think is our connection to mutants. How did she have that power first? Well, magic, so
and then we saw Pietro run very quickly with her. I feel like right when that thing happened, like he got her out of whatever space she was in quickly.
I'd have to watch it again.
Okay, I feel like I saw that, but maybe I was just like hoping or thinking that I was going to.
Maybe,
but
I think I feel like there has to be. So, given what we saw in this episode, I'm very curious as to, Agatha seemed to hint that. Was the bomb really a dud, or did it not go off because you changed the probability of it?
Yeah.
Which is what, in the comics, her hex magic does. It's a probability power. It is based in the notion that if it's possible for something to happen, she can take that from a mere possibility to a probability through the use of her magic.
Yeah.
So, my question is, if she had her powers, did she affect that bomb and make it not go off? And then did she also affect what the Mind Stone did so that it protected her and her brother, so that it gave them something instead of killing them like it killed everybody else?
Or
were they already special and it enhanced them because they were already special?
Yeah.
Was the necessary thing for them both to already be mutants? And that... I don't know. I mean, the MCU can take this so many different ways, and really we're just guessing at things.
Yeah.
But I find all of that very interesting.
I think we're going to get some more answers in the next episode for sure.
Sure.
But if what she has is the chaos magic as her inborn sort of thing, and it, it got enhanced by the Infinity Stone, it absolutely makes perfect sense for Doctor Strange to be the one to kind of help her with that, because it's magic and not necessarily she's weird.
Right.
So.
Well, and then also, even when she called Vision, when he came into the room, he acted as if he hadn't heard her. So then my question is, did she use her magic to caused that thought to pop into his head to check on her so that he came into the room. And so all of these elements of her life are things that she's built around herself, good and bad.
Yeah.
Because she was altering the probabilities around herself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. It makes me wonder about the accident in was it Sokovia? Was it Sokovia? No, it was somewhere.
No, at the beginning, Laos.
Lagos.
Laos.
Lagos, or Lagos, as somebody was saying. It's actually pronounced.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know why I was thinking it was Laos. Yeah.
No, not Laos. That's like southern
Lagos,
Asia. Yeah. Okay, but Lagos, if she has that power and that probability, how did that go as wrong as it did?
I don't know.
So was there something, interfering with her there, or was it just inexperience? Was it, she lost control of it somehow? You got to wonder, like, that was a problem. That was a big deal. Obviously, it made it was the spurring on point for a lot of, plot points in the MCU. So, you got to wonder if she was, maybe she was still too new to it and not able to control it as well. I don't know. So that's a curiosity as well.
It's interesting to me too that we, just a few little things. If you expand the thought about her trauma and her wanting to fit in, that notion of, the dialect and the accent fluctuating, and then her finding some comfort and some feeling of home in Vision, and then once they're on the run, that's when her hair color changes to red, which was very similar color to what Black Widow had, where Black Widow went blonde because they're on the run. Obviously, they're changing their appearance so that they don't look the same as whatever. But it feels like, maybe we know that she was training from Civil War in that scene before the explosion and all that stuff in Lagos. We know that from the way that from the way that Black Widow is talking to her, that it sounds like she's been training Wanda for the field. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that maybe she would look up to her and take on that color of hair. You wonder how much her trauma and her need to fit in has actually influenced things, even down to the color that she wears her hair, or, those kinds of things. Like, trauma can do weird stuff to you. And I think, I like that we have Agatha, who's clearly not a reliable narrator for all of this, but we have her acknowledging what we all know, which is, holy cow, this trauma that you're carrying around, like, you're a messed up kid that needs a lot of therapy, or needed a lot of therapy, and look at what you've done.
Yeah. So, and then kind of touching on Agatha, it's, so she's not the instigator of this. Now we see it was Wanda who started this all along. Agatha, I guess, seeing and feeling the outpouring of magics was drawn to it.
And I just wonder how quickly she got there. Like, where was she that she knew,
felt it?
Yeah.
Well, she might have been they said that one of those Easter eggs folks saw that her license plate was from Connecticut. Mm-hmm. So possibly nearby, because Connecticut, New Jersey, right there.
Right.
Just like an hour's drive away.
You say Connecticut funny.
Ha 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 ha. But she was nearby, so feeling that ginormous outblow of power, and we saw it, kind of represented really well while Wanda was mourning the life that she could have had with Vision. Getting in there and trying to find out, like, how did she do all this? Because everything that she ever did took time, and Wanda was able to just do it.
And there's an aspect of grief, and I really appreciate the way it showed that she just kind of lost it there in the foundation of that house, where she fell to her knees and it just came out of her, and like, she wasn't controlling it. It just came out. And I know, speaking in my own life, there have been times of grief, one time specifically that I can recall, where I felt like I wanted to cry and I wanted to fall apart, but if I let myself fall apart, I felt like I might not be able to pull it back in. Like, if I were to let go of the reins in that moment, that I might lose myself somehow. And so I held on tightly to not feel that. And so to me, that reminded me of that. Like she was feeling that pull and she just let go.
Yeah.
And because she let go, she couldn't rein it in. She couldn't pull it back. She couldn't stop.
Yeah.
The
outpouring.
sort of endless depths of trauma and damage and, grief that just were pouring out of her in waves. And so those waves then affected everything.
And
I think that's why aside from being taken over and playing a part, that's why I think the people of Westview are so traumatized that they're feeling the depth of that grief. Like it's all spilled out on them.
I mean, it was the grief that created
those
that
same
world.
waves that she was talking about, but now her waves have taken them under.
Yeah.
And they're drowning in sorrow that doesn't belong to them.
Yeah.
And so, I'm very, very curious to see where we go in episode 9 with whatever time we've got to work with.
Right. And what implications does this have for Wanda? Because obviously she needs to fix this and not have it be the way it is. I mean, there's got to be a way that she can fix it.
And she needs to fit. And that's the thing.
She has to.
That's why I'm glad that we didn't get whatever cameo is supposed to happen. Because if it is Doctor Strange, I wouldn't want Doctor Strange to come in and go, oh, okay, Agatha Harkness, you're done. You're over here. I got you taken care of. Lickety split. And now I'm going to put everything back. And Wanda, we need to have a talk. It needs to be Wanda's to fix. Because when your trauma then causes you to traumatize other people, when your the abuse that you've suffered causes you to be the abuser, that's on you to put right. That's on you to fix it. And so, yes, people can come around and support and help. And it's great that somebody like Monica is willing to say, I don't believe she's willfully, maliciously hurting people. I think she's grieving. I recognize my own grief in her. I want to do something to help. No. That's what she needs, but she needs to be the one to fix it.
Yeah, so she needs...
And it kind of goes back to what Monica said. If she's the problem, she has to be part of the solution.
Right.
And I think that's where even going into episode 9, we still stand.
Right. So we got to figure out how Wanda will do this while keeping the vision, while keeping her children, and making reparations. Not like, going, it never happened, oops. Right. But by the way, here's Vision back again and I have kids. It can't be like that either.
And I think that it's we've seen since Civil War, we've seen the repercussions of what it's like to have superheroes in the world. If superheroes really existed side by side with average everyday people, then there would be these situations where something happened that wasn't controlled, something happened that went badly, and you have to answer for it. Well, this is someone who made a choice in a moment of grief to lash out, and it led to something bad. There has to be a restitution for that, and it only makes sense that in a real-world scenario, people would be very wary of her. People would be very wary of, superheroes in general. Yeah, so I feel like that's something that should end up having a consequence in the MCU proper.
Yeah, I'm thinking it will, but hopefully it won't be. I hope that people would understand what happened, and I feel like
to an extent. But in the real world, that some people wouldn't. It wouldn't matter what she said. It wouldn't matter what she'd gone through. It wouldn't matter. And I get that too, because I didn't do that. It's not my fault that you were grieving. It's not my fault, but you did this stuff to me, and that's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how that shakes out, how the consequences of all of this shake out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it all play out in the last episode, which is next week.
Yeah. We want to hear your theories. What do you think will happen in episode 9? Let us know in the comments down below. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure and subscribe so you don't miss us reacting to that last episode. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. And that's it. We'll see you next week, right?
Yep.
Until then, folks.
Bye.
Bye.